With this, chaos has erupted at Brackenfell High School. Police have used tear gas and water cannons to disperse EFF protesters. Parents who are in solidarity with pupils are panicking. Currently, there's a strong police presence as well as private security. Let's speak to Guillaume Smit, the chairperson of the school's governing body. Guillaume, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Of course, you are seeing what's happening in Cape Town over the alleged racism. What's your initial reaction?
I am saddened with the fact that the EFF, this demonstration erupted. I am saddened with the fact that there were violence, and we're still waiting for them to contact us to receive the memorandum.
So let's talk about the overall issue of alleged racism in this school. Is that correct? Are you getting reports and incidents from people coming to the school governing body with these concerns?
Initially, we did not receive any official complaints with regards to racism. The people who decided to complain used the social media outlets to their availability. But since then, they handed us we had a meeting with them where they handed us the memorandum. And we started working on the issues that we discussed during that meeting. For example, the hair issue, which we changed the hair policy, and the implementation of our diversity committee, which eventually started working. So at this stage, we are creating new avenues for pupils who experience racism to come and discuss the safe environment at school.
You know, we've spoken to parents of pupils who say they've been called the K word, they've been targeted for being coloured, for instance. Clearly there's a problem in this school. Have you failed in your oversight role?
No, I don't think we've failed. I think the fact that these pupils, and I would like to just make sure that everybody knows this is not a value judgment against what they experienced. The fact that they did not, from their side, initially do something official, they did not lodge complaints. The school has systems in place where they can go to the disciplinary action committee and tell them we experienced this and everything. And that didn't really happen. So the failing in our oversight will not be an accurate description of what you're saying. I think just the fact is the seriousness of the situation wasn't that much under our attention as it is now.
Yeah, you would agree, though, that there is an issue of racism at the school, given everything we're hearing now?
I would like to rephrase the issue of racism and say that we are experiencing racist incidents. Because if you say there are issues of racism, you brand the school in itself as a racist institution, and that is not the truth.
Well, if you have acts of racism happening at the school with no consequences, then racism is the biggest issue there, right?
No consequences is also not true. The issues of racism that has been reported to the school had been dealt with in a disciplinary way, and corrective measures were taken.
Against who?
If that were the truth, against the individuals perpetrating the racism.
And is this for the recent one or previous incidents?
No, it was for previous incidents, stuff that happened last year already and previously, so it's an ongoing thing. So by making broad generalizations about issues of racism, because some issues were not taken through the appropriate steps and then eventually handled with, and then branding the school as a racist institution is factually incorrect.
But you yourself are saying it's been an ongoing thing.
Well, you must appreciate the fact that the ongoing issue of race is a thing that goes on to the whole of South Africa. So I do not think our school is unique in this instance as an institution of this country. What is maybe unique is the fact that we have proactively started addressing these issues because we're working to a shared value and future.
So what about this party that was held with white pupils only? Would you label that racist?
No, I'm not going to label that racist. I'm going to label that sad and mostly insensitive, if I could label it at all, because as a fact, all the pupils that was in matric had the opportunity to attend. They were invited. We have on record pupils of color that decided to go and then eventually decided not to go. So the insensitivity of the fact that only white pupils did attend this situation is not seen as exclusionary or even intentional. So you cannot brand that as racist.
Yeah, obviously it depends on where that party was held and black pupils not being able to get there. That would be the argument for why they couldn't get to that point. But let's just move forward, because I want to know what you're doing as a school to address this issue.
Well, we have created spaces for learners to come forward and say, I'm experiencing this specific instances of racism, and that can then be addressed in a safe and non-threatening way. We have a few teachers in the school that is part of the diversity committee, where we work towards helping people with issues to feel have the freedom to express themselves. We're working with regards to a listening process. We are giving the learners themselves opportunities to express what they experience as racism. We are working on sensitivity training with regards to the teachers overall, but also to the learners in the school, so that we can understand each other's cultures and the issues over and above in a mutual way.
Yeah.
This is a long-term process. It's not a quick fix, and we're not trying to address that and then go on and deliver.
So we also heard reports from some parents that teachers are the ones who are coming into classrooms making racist remarks. How are you handling that?
You must remember that a lot of the things that is being branded as racist at this stage is part of what the psychology call an unconscious bias. They have been brought up to think in a certain way, and they've never been challenged to understand that that is inappropriate behavior, and then that is perpetuated in a way, and because it is seen as racism on the other side, it comes out as racist, but it's not intentional. It's more an unconscious bias that needs to be addressed by sensitivity training and better insight.
Why do teachers, educators of all people, need sensitivity training? Surely they understand what words they use and how it can be harmful towards black pupils. For one instance, we were told that colored pupils were told that they were well behaved for coloreds by a teacher. That's absurd. That's racist.
That is also unconscious, because people that do not know how to express themselves with regards to sensitivity, because they've never had the opportunity to be taught or educated in that way, will never do that if they know it's wrong. So you're quite correct. That is experienced as racist, and because of the fact it is racist, but you cannot brand the teacher as racist because he said something like that in his or her naivety, most probably.
Mr. Smit, it sounds like you're making this to be something that it's not. The reality is that South Africa is a country that has come from a very oppressive past. Teachers in our democratic state should know how to handle pupils, and you are purely saying that they are insensitive to the other race groups by making racist remarks. The fact is that people land up in jail for using racist terms in this country. So it's not as simple as that, saying that someone's insensitive to the issue.
Well, what would you call it?
It's racism. If you are picking or excluding someone based on the color of their skin, it's racist. It's as simple as that.
Okay, but that's not what happened.
Well, I'm telling you, if a teacher walks into a classroom and tells a group of colored pupils that they are well behaved for coloreds, that's racist, because he's judging them based on the color of their skin.
I agree with that, but what I'm trying to say, and let me rephrase my previous remark, I was referring to the exclusion part, and I was thinking that you were still referring to the matric ball. But when a teacher comes into a class and he says something that is being represented as racist, and nobody challenges him on that, that person will never learn that it is wrong if that person was brought up or under the impression that he is giving a compliment. Let's not go into a back and forth, you and I, because we are all on the same page here. We do not accept racism. Our school is a non-racial institution. We are working towards improving the situation in the school. The fact that we are experiencing it in the limelight at this stage does not mean we are a racist school. It means that we are a school who addresses the unique and current issues of our whole country.
Yeah, it sounds like you're sugarcoating it. Well, I wish you luck. We're going to leave it right there. Chairperson of Brackenfell High School's governing body, Guillaume Smit.